Prospera, and I'll be the moderator for today's webinar. Please also note that this webinar is being recorded. Only the presenter's video and audio will be captured, and by attending, you consent to the recording of this session. I want to begin this morning by acknowledging that we're joining you today from Prospera's corporate office, which is located on the traditional and ancestral territory of the Coast Salish peoples, which includes the Semiahmoo, Katzie, Coquitlam, Kwantlen, Kaikai, and Tsawwassen First Nations. The purpose of this webinar is to present to our members the audited financial statements for the year ended December 31st, 2024, and to provide you with an opportunity to discuss Prospera's 2024 financial performance. In the normal course of business, the year-end financial results are presented at the annual general meeting. However, with the consent of our regulator, the BC Financial Services Authority, we deferred our 2025 AGM as Prospera is exploring a federal continuance and merger opportunity with Coast Capital Savings and Sunshine Coast Credit Unions. As Prospera is currently holding a member vote regarding this proposed transaction, we're hosting this webinar to provide members with the opportunity to review Prospera's 2024 audited financial statements with our management team. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce those who have joined today and quickly review today's webinar agenda. We have with us Gavin Toy, President and Chief Executive Officer, Jennifer Scarf, Chief Financial Officer, Gina Arsons, Chair of the Prospera Board of Directors, and our external auditors from KPMG are also present and will be available to answer questions during the webinar. I'll also review our agenda for this morning. We'll begin with a message from your board chair, followed by some additional opening comments from Gavin. We'll then turn it over to Jennifer to walk through the 2024 audited financial results for Prospera. At the conclusion of Jennifer's presentation, we will hold a Q&A session to answer any questions you may have in connection with the 2024 audited financials, followed by some brief closing remarks. With that, it is now my pleasure to introduce Prospera's board chair, Gina Arsons.
Thank you, Elise. Good morning. On behalf of the board, I'm pleased to welcome you to today's presentation of the 2024 audited financial statements. I want to begin by thanking our board members and employees for their continued dedication and commitment to our members and our communities. Their efforts have enabled us to deliver strong financial performance while advancing our long-term vision. As we review the 2024 financials, we do so at a pivotal time in our credit union's journey. Earlier this spring, Prospera, Coast Capital, and Sunshine Coast Credit Unions jointly announced plans to merge and form a new federal credit union, one that builds on our shared strengths and member-first values. If approved by members and regulators, this continuance and merger will enhance our ability to serve you with even greater innovation, stability, and purpose. Today's presentation is focused on reviewing the 2024 financial results. We'll begin with a brief overview of the rules and procedures for today's webinar. An electronic copy of these materials, along with the notice of the webinar, was posted in early June and is available for members to download and save. As a reminder, the format of this afternoon's presentation is a standard webinar. It does not provide live discussion. However, members can ask questions about the 2024 audited financial statements using the Q&A feature. Just click the Q&A icon at the top of your screen, enter your name and branch location, and submit your question. We encourage you to ask questions throughout this presentation. While only questions related to the 2024 financial statements will be addressed during this webinar, members with other questions, such as those related to the proposed merger, are encouraged to email us at merger@prospera.ca or visit our microsite powerthefuture.ca for more information. In addition, we invite you to join us in one of our upcoming open houses or coffee chats hosted by Prospera. These in-person and virtual sessions will be held in communities across BC, offering you the opportunity to speak directly with members of our management teams and boards of directors. You'll be able to learn more about the vision for our proposed federal credit union, ask questions, and share your perspectives as part of this important dialogue. Full event details and registration links are available at powerthefuture.ca. And now on to some of the rules and procedures. Questions will be addressed in the order they're received during the Q&A period at the end of this presentation. To give all participants an equal opportunity to ask questions, after receiving 2 questions from the same member, we'll address questions from other members before answering additional questions from that same member. Thank you again for joining us today and for your continued support. We look forward to reviewing the 2024 audited financial results with you and answering your questions. It's my pleasure to turn it over to Prospera's President and CEO, Gavin Toy.
Thanks, Gina. Well, good morning, everyone, and I'll certainly echo Elise's opening comments, and thank you for joining us today. Very busy times, but we always appreciate when our members and our employees take an active interest in your credit union. I'm going to turn it over quickly to Jen, our Chief Financial Officer, for the main event to review our 2024 financial results. But before I do really want to take this opportunity to express our appreciation and thank our members. We know certainly the last couple of years in particular have been very challenging, whether it's high prices, inflation, interest rates, household debt, business challenges. Certainly we know it's been difficult on a number of different fronts. And in turbulent times, we're reminded more than ever who we're here to serve and why we exist. And so it's very gratifying that this past year, our teams completed nearly 12,000 financial health checks where we've been able to deeply engage with our members. And a significant outcome of those engagements is to really explore ways in which we can better help our members meet their financial needs and structure their finances in line with the operating and economic environment. And while, as you'll hear from Jen, in an inverted yield curve where the short-term rates are higher than the long-term rates, that's very challenging for all financial services players, including your credit union. It definitely reminds us why we are here and what important role we have to play. So on behalf of your board of directors and your management team, I want to sincerely thank our members for your support and engagement. And we look forward to the ability to help us continue to earn the right to serve you going forward. I'm going to hand it over to Jen. But maybe a final comment for me. Following this webinar, we will be posting our audited 2024 financial results on our website, and also the accompanying management discussion analysis, which gives you a little bit more detail to some of the highlights that Jen's going to speak to in a moment. So with that, I'll pass it over to Jen.
Thanks, Gavin. We have a bit to cover, so I'll begin with a short overview of 2024 and then walk through some slides with some specifics. In 2024, we reported total comprehensive income of $17.9 million. This included $2.2 million in net income, with the remainder driven by realized gains in our investment portfolio, or unrealized gains in our investment portfolio, aligned with our long-term strategy to grow value over time. As Gavin said, the yield curve inversion persisted through 2024, and all financial institutions across Canada faced margin compression. At Prospera, this resulted in narrower spreads between our loan income and our deposit costs. In response, we proactively managed our balance sheet, we controlled our expenses, and we continued to invest in initiatives that delivered member value. Our loan and lease portfolio declined by $185 million, which is less than 3%. Combined with positive net income, this helps strengthen our capital position. We also maintained a 14% liquidity ratio, reinforcing both our financial stability and our regulatory compliance. Beyond financial performance, our commitment to community remains strong. We invested over $570,000 through donations, sponsorships, and programs. With additional support from our Prospera Foundation, our total community investment exceeded $1 million. We're really excited about that. Our team also made a meaningful impact. contributing more than 2,300 volunteer hours across 85 events. And I want to say a huge thank you to all the staff that participated in these events. All right, let's move into some specifics. Let's talk about comprehensive income. So comprehensive income offers a more complete view of our financial performance because it captures both realized and unrealized gains and losses, particularly from our investment portfolio. Most of our investments are classified as fair value through other comprehensive income. What this means is that changes in market value are recorded outside of net income. This helps to smooth short-term fluctuations and provides more stable earnings. In 2024, total comprehensive income increased by $2 million, reaching $17.9 million, reflecting strong investment performance and financial strength. Net interest income, also known as financial margin, is our largest source of revenue. It represents the difference between income we pay on loans and leases and the interest we pay on deposits. In 2024, the inverted yield curve continued, with short-term interest rates, such as interest rates on 1 or 2 year term deposits, remaining higher than longer-term rates, such as 5-year mortgage rates. This environment contributed to compressed margins across the financial sector, limiting the spread financial institutions can earn between lending and deposit activities. At Prospera, this meant narrower spreads between loan income and deposit costs. And you can see that pressure on the graph on this slide. Interest income, shown as the dark blue bar, remained strong and continued to grow. But deposit expenses, shown in pink, rose even more sharply. The increase in deposit costs reflects our commitment to supporting members by offering competitive interest rates on term deposits. While this was the right decision for our membership, it did contribute to a narrowing of our financial margin. Operating expenses rose 3.4% in 2024, reflecting our disciplined approach to cost management amid macroeconomic challenges. We carefully balanced controlling costs with maintaining key strategic initiatives, including continued investment in cybersecurity enhancements to better protect our members. Compensation-related costs also increased, aligned with our continued focus on attracting and retaining top talent. These increases were partially offset by lower occupancy and equipment expenses. Moving on to net income. In 2024, Prospera earned $2.2 million in net income. While this was lower than the previous year, the decline was primarily due to margin compression due to the inverted yield curve, as we already discussed. Serving our members remains at the heart of everything we do. We meet evolving needs through our 3 lines of business: personal banking, business banking, and leasing. As of December 31st, 2024, our total on-balance sheet assets were $7.3 billion, a 3% decrease from 2023. This decline was driven by contractions in personal banking and leasing, partially offset by growth in our business banking. Our diversified business model helps us navigate changing economic conditions by spreading risk across sectors, and in the case of leasing, across geographic regions. It's also important to note that wealth management assets, which we manage on behalf of our members, are not included on our balance sheet, as they are held in custodial arrangements. All right, let's talk about capital. So while maintaining sufficient capital is a regulatory requirement, a strong capital position is also a key indicator of financial stability, and it's critical to Prospera for several reasons. First, it enables us to meet members' needs by supporting lending and lease growth. Second, it allows us to reinvest in our business, in technology, products, people, and infrastructure. Third, it empowers us to support our local communities. And finally, it acts as a financial buffer, helping us absorb unexpected events. At Prospera, prudent capital management is central to our governance approach, ensuring we're always positioned to meet the needs of our members. By regulation, Prospera must maintain a minimum capital ratio of 8% with a supervisory threshold of 10%. In 2024, our capital ratio reached 13.7%, up from 13.4% in 2023, well above the required levels. The majority of our capital comes from retained earnings, which is the highest quality form of capital. Our strong capital position ensures that Prospera remains well capitalized and well prepared to meet future demand. And that concludes my financial overview. With that, I'm going to hand it over to Elise to commence the question and answer period.
Thank you, Jennifer. So we're now going to move into the Q&A portion of this webinar. As a reminder, only questions related to the 2024 audited financial statements can be addressed. If we have any questions, these will be directed to either Gavin, Jennifer, or Gina, depending on the nature of the question. To ask a question, please select the Q&A feature at the top of your screen, provide your name, and hit send. So we have a first question coming in that I'm going to direct to Gavin. Shelley asks, is Prospera still financially strong?
Yeah, thanks, Elisa. Thanks for the question. Yeah, there's no doubt, as you've heard in our brief remarks, the last couple of years have been challenging, without a doubt, for certainly all financial services sector players, and certainly for our members. But as you've seen in Jen's remarks, and I'll point a few things out there, while we do manage $9.3 billion on behalf of our members, the net worth or the capital of the credit union is $444 million. So significant above regulatory thresholds, internal thresholds. And that is a key measure that you should look to for financial strength and stability, as Jen pointed out in her remarks. Other measures like liquidity remain very strong as well. And if you look to our ongoing commitment to things like community investment and investing in the business, even though it has been challenging the last couple of years financially, we've continued to make all of those necessary investments in order to serve our local communities and our members better. One thing that does set Prospera apart from many others is that we have always been an organization that doesn't overly just chase growth. Our board is always reflective of what strong capital means so that we can remain resilient. And so we do not have a lot of long-term debt or equity shares like many other financial institutions. That allows us to be a little bit more resilient through turbulent times. And we're exceptionally proud that throughout the pandemic over the last number of years, we've remained profitable and kept our growth in line with our earnings and make sure that we focus on existing member relationships. So absolutely very financially sound, and look forward to that continuing on an ongoing basis.
Great. Thanks very much for that answer, Gavin. I have another question, and this one I'm going to direct to Jennifer. The question is from Anna, and she asks, how did Prospera perform in 2024 compared to our credit union peers?
Thanks for the question, Anna. I can't comment on the performance of our peers, but I can say that the yield curve inversion that we talked about has impacted all credit unions and financial institutions. And I'm really going to echo what Gavin said, which is how Prospera is unique. So one thing that really stands out about Prospera is that our capital is made up almost entirely of retained earnings, which is the most pure form of capital. What this means is that we can manage challenging economic environments by moderating our balance sheet. This is something that we stand out across Canada and across our peers. And throughout the year, we're really excited about our financial results. We've maintained robust capital ratio and strong liquidity, and we did have positive financial results, and that's something that we're really proud of. Thanks for the question.
Thanks for that, Jennifer. And I have one additional question coming in from Kirsten that I'm going to direct your way as well. The question is, have we experienced a lot of loan losses, and have we increased our provisions?
Oh, thanks, Elise, and thanks for the question, Kristen. While there's some level of loss that's inherent in any loan portfolio, We have a strong and well-established process in place to manage loan loss risks. And in 2024, the decline in the used car market did result in some losses, but our portfolio was stable overall. If the question's about our expected credit loss or our ECL provision, our portfolio contracted over the year, and combined with improving macroeconomic conditions, which were quite uncertain in 2023 compared to 2024, not speaking to 2025 here, this led to a reduction in our overall loan loss provision. But we look at it in detail every quarter and we adjust it to make sure we're looking at current market conditions. I hope that answers the question.
That's great. Thank you, Jennifer. I'm just looking in our Q&A tab, and it appears we have not received any more questions, so I will turn it over to Gavin for his closing remarks.
Thanks. Yeah, maybe I'll close with where I started. I do want to thank everyone for joining us today. It is important to engage regularly with our members and our employees. We always want to hear from you. So hopefully this forum and other forums that we have available are there to allow you to express yourself. We do know that there is choice in financial services. And so we're always cognizant that we need to earn that right to serve you and meet your needs going forward. And we don't take that for granted. So thank you very much for all of your support over the years. And we look forward to that continuing in the future. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank our employees as well. It's been an interesting number of years. We're super excited about the future. We're excited about the sector, and we look for more exciting ways to be able to be there as an employer, serve our local communities, and serve our members going forward. I have to put it in just because of last night's game, but go Oilers go would be my final comments. And maybe with that, I'll conclude. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Take care.